This just resurfaced. This is from a couple years ago, 3 years ago, as Jack Posobiec was very defiant and adamant to point out, which to me isn't all that many years ago, but let's see what all the bluster is about here.
Mr. President, what is your message to the senators at your trial this week? Mr. President, is your trial now getting underway? Why is it better to be here in Davos than in Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're here meeting with world leaders, the biggest, most important people in the world, and we're bringing back tremendous business in the United States, and they're all here to see. I'll be making a speech, and then we'll be leaving shortly. But I think it's very important. The other's just a hoax. It's the witch hunt that's been going on for years, and frankly, it's disgraceful. But we look forward to being here. KLAUS has done a fantastic job. And again, we're meeting with the biggest companies in the world, the biggest businesses in the world, and world leaders, all for the benefit of the United States. We look forward to the meetings.
Why not have witnesses, Mr.
Is
President?
there a right on climate change, Mr. President?
Well, I'm a big believer in the environment. The environment to me is very important.
What about witnesses?
That's my favorite part.
I'm a big believer in
I'm
the
a-
environment. I believe it exists. There's environments.
What the fuck?
It's a huge environment. Beautiful.
I wish he would just be like, if he were to come out and just be like, global warming is complete bullshit. Like, I'd be like, I'm voting for you, dude. Like, it is. I really believe it's the biggest scam of our time. I really do.
I think it's up there, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. But do you think, like, a lot of people going back and forth on this one, a lot of Trump supporters are like, what the fuck, dude? And a lot of Trump supporters are also like, hey, don't share that because he was talking about the event that KLAUS did a good job at, and you see how he didn't directly answer the climate thing? It's like, okay, guys, like, come on. He's there partying with the guy. He's there hanging out with the guy. He's there praising the guy. Like, I had a bunch of people respond. They're like, oh, well, keep your enemies closer. It's like, how close? So close that you're singing their praises on the national stage? How close are we talking? At what point does enemies close become friends?
Yeah,
Clint.
well, you and I are going to have very strong differences of opinion on this one, actually. The speech that he gave at that event was like, we are not going to allow the globalists to control us. This is, I'm an America first guy. Like, we're not doing any of these globalist plots. He has been disinvited from all future events. I think that he was just being cordial to his host. I honestly believe that. And also, for the record, what he said there was completely true. He
KLAUS
was
did
there.
do a fantastic job.
He did do a fantastic job. He got every major business CEO on the planet to attend, as well as all the major political leaders across the globe to attend these stupid fucking conspiracy events.
Mhm.
But what Trump says was 100% true. He's like, there is big leaders here, and I am making deals for the American people. Like, that's, I mean, whether or not he was actually doing that, like that's what he ought to be doing. So I had no problem with it. And there was no one on earth that hates the World Economic Forum or Klaus Schwab or the globalist agenda more than me.
Not even
but
Trump?
I do not think. No, Trump doesn't hate it more than me. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I honestly think it's a nothing burger, and I know that will piss some people off, but that's my opinion.
I'm fine with that. I didn't do a bunch of digging, which
You should watch the speech. You should watch
Sure.
the speech he gave that same day. It is fucking pretty gnarly. He's like up there in front of the globalists going, "We ain't doing any of this." I was like,
And this
"All right,
was
dude."
this was prior to that.
I think it was the same day.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with being proven wrong, especially when I haven't done much digging. And it's not a good look for me to say I didn't do much digging because I did. Somebody made a statement about that, and I don't like Twitter's just whatever. My response was like, yeah.
they're like, "Hey, watch the speech," and you're like, "No, I'm good. I'm good with this."
Exactly what
This
happened.
is good.
No, actually, it's worse. They said you should watch the speech, and I said links, and they posted the links, and I still didn't watch it because that's the level of professionalism that I bring to the journalistic world here on The System Is Down.
You're like, "No, this confirms my preconceived notions about Trump. I'm going to stick with this. Thank you very much."
Absolutely. No, I mean, there is a part of me that's like, even if he was like blasting it or whatever, that doesn't make me think less that he like. There's a part of me that has
still be
like
controlled opposition.
right.
for sure.
I have two Trumps in my brain. The part that's like, oh yeah, I like when he bashes on these people. Like when Ricky Gervais comes out and blasts people for being like friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I don't necessarily think that Ricky Gervais isn't a part of the elitist establishment as well, and he was just playing a
Right.
role. I think that with Donald Trump for the most part, and if he is like my conspiracy brain goes towards, Like he's there bumping elbows with the guy. He's there like being chummy with him. And Jack Posobiec points out like, oh well, this is 3 years ago and it's taken out of context and stuff. I'm like, well, 3 years ago means jack shit, obviously, because that 3 years ago is like right before the lockdowns, right before like all the COVID shit. Like that, the fact that it was 3 years ago leads me more to believing that there was something more shady going on here.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and I'm not at all saying that Donald Trump is not part of their cabal. Like he very well could be. Did you do that, or is that a?
I did not do that. I did not do that.
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
So it's my honest opinion. Go watch the fucking speech if you don't believe me. Like I'm telling you, he is up there and he's saying everything that you're not supposed to say to the globalist people that are all sitting in that room. And even KLAUS was asked afterwards, and he's like, I don't think I would invite him back. So, I think that's a pretty good defense of Trump in that particular moment. That doesn't mean that he's actually the opposition leader or anything like that, because I think that's pretty far-fetched too.
If this is all true, Clint, if you as the MAGA guy are telling me that Donald Trump is still the president of the United States and going to be reappointed into the White House any day now, I will take you at your word until I have some time to do more digging.
The latest Q drop has confirmed it, so I'm pretty sure that's true. Yep, pretty sure.
I mean, what do you think about the Q people that are still on, like, when you see stuff like, not just stuff like this, but, he does have ties to Epstein.
I think they're straight spazzing, honestly.
Yeah, like...
Spazzing on that ass, even.
As much as I think you probably are correct that this is a nothing burger, the Q people, their immediate inclination to spin this into, well, keep his enemies closer, like I would be willing to bet that they didn't watch the full thing too. Like they didn't watch it to actually form their opinion. They're just like, well, my guy did a thing, and obviously, there's justification for it. Like I don't think that's any more mentally healthy than the left.
Anyone that's blindly trusting or defending Trump is making a huge mistake. Like I did this research because I wanted to know, if he went up there and he gave a speech that was like in alignment with the globalist agenda.
Right.
The fact that he went up there and he went completely counter to it, I was like, okay, that's what I would have expected from Donald Trump, rhetorically. Whether or not in reality he actually stands in opposition to them, I think is highly dubious claim. But
sure.
You're totally right. I mean, obviously there's blind Trump supporters and there's blind Trump haters. I try and be as, in the middle as possible and realistic.
Yeah.
Hopium.
Jesus Christ. These commenters aren't having it. They're even more ruthless than I am.
Go watch the fucking speech, people. He goes up there
I mean,
says, fuck globalism.
I don't doubt that you're correct. I mean, I've seen the good people on both sides speech, the extended director's cut that goes on for 5 more seconds and debunks their entire claim about it.
Which by the way, who's the dude that wears the leather jacket that works for Reason?
Nick Gillespie?
Yeah. Gillespie did a 2-hour sit down with Penn Jillette last night, or maybe it came out a couple days ago. I watched it last night for Reason, and he's questioning Penn Jillette's libertarian bona fides post COVID, because he's obviously become a total pussy. But
yes,
in that,
voted for Newsom.
Gillespie says that, and Hillary, by the way, fucking insane. But Gillespie says, yeah, you're right, about because Penn's explanation was like just the overt racism from Trump was what really pushed me away from libertarianism. Like what? But Gillespie says you're right. The Charlottesville speech. He goes with the sending their drug dealers and their rapists about the Mexican thing, and it's like that. If you listen to that fucking speech, I don't know how you hear that. He's saying they're not sending their best; they are sending their. Some of them are, it's obvious that he's saying they're sending some bad people. That's what he's implying. He's not saying Mexicans are this. And I don't know how you hear it any other way, but it's fucking mind blowing to me that like there's this Trump derangement shit persists. Like it really does persist and on both sides where people are like, either he's, all good or all bad. It's just, it drives me crazy.
All we're left with is dark MAGA versus dark Brandon, and
Jesus. I mean,
it's a dark time we live in. If those are your
I swear, like I'm not even religious, but if this isn't purgatory, I don't know what is.
I'll make questionable decisions.